Can you fall hard on my little booty?
Are those all songs you make up?
On the spot. Welcome back to another episode of Reality Court. My name is Ace Fanning, and I am an absolute nobody, and I am joined by a once was, but now nobody as well. Anna Quincoces, former Real Housewife of Miami, but now she just sits here and talks shit with me.
That's right. And can I tell you,
Yeah.
it's my favorite thing in the whole world.
Oh,
it absolutely is my
thank you.
favorite thing in the whole world.
That
It
brings
really
me a
is.
lot of joy. That brings me a lot of joy.
It should.
Anna, we're here to
Yes.
recap the Miami reunion,
Don't
which
look at the, okay.
I didn't think that we were going to be getting a cameo from you during. That
Listen.
was so exciting.
Was it exciting for you? Here's
Oh,
what I
yeah.
have to say about that.
Okay.
For a year and a half, I've been
Yeah.
talking about deleted scenes that nobody admitted to, but now it was convenient to use the scene of
Yeah.
Julia freaking out. If you look at the scene closely, and I will post it here.
Marisol, did you say yes or no? Did you say stop? Did you say or no?
And number three is when she physically assaulted me, and finally she let.
She's freaking out, and she gestures to someone, which is me. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
Of course, they show me not talking, but that at that point, it wouldn't have been appropriate to talk because we were all like we couldn't believe how upset she got and how triggered she was by that. But I hated that they never addressed the context. They just showed it and let it go. It has
Right.
been her most dramatic freak out since she's been on that show, but we still don't know what happened. I mean, I do.
The audience doesn't know, but you
audience.
know.
And
Right.
you know, but
And
it's
I know,
just like,
yes.
it's fucked up, you know.
It is very fucked up,
Yeah,
and
it's very
Marisol's
fucked
a
up.
fucking bitch.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to say about that. That's what we're going to
That's
say about
right.
that. Guys, we're here to recap Real Housewives of Miami reunion part 1. And I mean, I feel like the best place to start with this is just the outfits, you know? I appreciate Miami going for the bright colors because that is Miami. But it felt like a lot of people's dresses were straight off the rack at Forever 21.
Oh,
You know, like Alexia, Adriana, they both had just like, I don't know, what are those called? The like sequins?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
I mean,
great.
I have to be honest. I did like Alexia's dress.
Okay.
I didn't like how it fit her
Okay.
because I don't know why she thinks you wear the tag on the outside where it says your size, but she's always her whole life tried to get into sizes that don't fit her, and she should just get a bigger size and then get it tailored because her boobs were screaming like, help
Yeah.
me, help
Yeah.
me. Like, it looked painful, really painful. Other than
It's
that,
not
I
easy
thought
to
it was a
pull off
beautiful dress.
yellow, and she really did pull it off, though.
Yes, no, I thought, listen, I'm sure that of everyone there, it was the most expensive dress. I mean, maybe Stephanie's was more, but you know, Stephanie spends money and it doesn't show.
Stephanie's the kind of person where it's like, oh, money, as Luann de Lesseps said, money can't buy you class. Like, money can't buy you fashion. Money can't
Or
buy you
taste.
taste and style, because that outfit was really, really something.
Yeah, I think she has like personal shoppers that tell her, hey, look, it's this brand. Well, you know, like, who was it that said even Louis Vuitton makes mistakes?
That was also
Luann.
that was Alex McCord. No, that was Luann as well.
To Alex McCord.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's what I think. I appreciate that she was trying to have fun with it. But she needs to lose the little jackets. She really does. She's a young girl.
Yeah.
She's the youngest one there, I think.
Oh, for
And,
sure.
Yeah, she needs to just have... She has a hard personality. We should soften it with the look.
I feel like when I see her, she looks like she would be, maybe her other sister who doesn't talk to her anymore is like Dominique Mucciano. You know, like,
Right.
like she looks like a gymnast. And
Yeah, she does.
those
She
jackets
does.
aren't helping. Who would you say was the worst dressed at the reunion?
Larsa.
Yeah, I agree. That was not.
I mean, she and
It looked.
Nova.
I'm sure it was expensive, but it
no,
looked
it was not.
cheap.
I have the.
Oh.
I'll put it up. $175.
$175 for your reunion look?
Yeah, $175. I have the thing, and I'm sure she got it free or on sale, or they paid her to wear it. You'd have to pay me so much money to wear that.
You'd have to pay me $2.
Well, seriously,
I'm an
Ace,
easy get. I'm an
how
easy get.
bad was that? And it was ill-fitting.
Her
Look,
ass.
Here's the thing about Larsa.
Yeah.
It's not that she's fat. Like, some people think she's fat. She's, I guess, thick, which is not fat.
Well, I don't think she's even thick. She's just got a big fake ass.
Right, but she's not wobbly. She's not flabby. She doesn't have cellulite all over her legs. You know what I'm saying?
Cellulite?
Cellulite. How do you say it?
Cellulite.
Oh, cellulite. Okay, cellulite. You would think someone that has it would know how to spell it or how to say
Listen,
it.
it's okay. I'll forgive you.
Okay.
Are you saying Alexia, is that your best dressed? Or who would you say was best dressed?
Yeah. Best.
Alexia.
It's hard to say best dressed when it was ill-fitting.
Right. I have to say, I thought Lisa looked amazing.
Oh no, Lisa's my best dressed.
Okay,
forgot.
good.
Lisa's my best dressed because
Yeah, I was thinking.
yes, and it
she
was
looked
very
good.
true to the theme. You really couldn't take advantage. You really couldn't see the detail, but that's a stunning dress.
I don't know if this tipped anyone else off of their rocker or what. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but that's how much it took me aback. Andy was not in a separate chair. We were all on one big half circle bench. And it was very alarming to me because he's always normally in his own chair. And that wasn't the case here. They were just separated by pillows.
And they started with alcohol.
Which, I mean,
But
I
that's
appreciate
never
that.
happened.
It's never happened?
Never happened. He said it. It's
Oh.
the first time we've ever started a reunion, so he figured he needed it.
Yeah, I don't blame him because it's like Andy can't get a word in with these women.
No. But
Even when he tries to say like, okay, let her talk. They just still keep going.
I have never seen Andy pick sides the way I saw him do that in this reunion.
With who?
Okay, but before we get into that, let's talk about, before, we even addressed the seating chart, because I think that's important. Before they even walked into the room, Julia's crying. They're trying to put on her
Right.
makeup, and she's crying.
She knew. She knows people hate her.
She knows people hate her. She's trying to garner, sympathy. It's not working. It was cringy to me.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. So then
But what did you think about when Marisol and Alexia come in and Alexia full on like elbows Marisol out of the way to get to Julia?
Oh, I didn't notice that, but I also
I felt like she was like, move, bitch, I'm getting in on this scene.
Right. I think Alexia might be getting a little tired of Marisol trying to get herself to be,
Important.
really important. But I also felt that Alexia, because she was first chair, felt some kind of responsibility to kind of take over. You can always tell when she's been media trained, when they've given her new big words to use, even though she doesn't use them appropriately. It was very obvious to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I also felt like Stephanie, why is Stephanie first chair?
I did not.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, I thought about it. Is it possible Stephanie bought first chair? Like, is it possible that she was like, listen, I want to make a splash? Right. What's it going to cost to make me first seat?
Well,
did Masoud have to come in and throw some cash?
No, I think, I know for a fact that Marisol had calls with everybody, the puppet master. She talked to, and this is very in line with her thought process about Housewives, because I do remember her telling me about this. You know, she's very aware that it's a conflict and resolution type show. This is what the audience wants to see. And
Right.
so I remember her giving me Potomac as an example back then, how they fight, whatever, but they always come back together and blah, blah, blah. So my understanding is that she called Stephanie and they made an agreement to not come at each other that hard. And
Okay.
you can tell throughout the reunion, I don't know if you noticed this, these kind of knowing glances at each other. Like, you didn't see that?
Oh, no. They're
Yes.
winking at each other?
Yes, yes. There was a lot of that. There was a lot of
Wow.
that. Also, you know, Alexia's new veneers, which all I can think is veneer breath and what they look like under. She was just like the whole
Full
time.
of smiles.
Oh
Full
my
of
God.
smiles.
And then there were times that she would look at Andy like if somehow they were complicit in something. And Andy was like, what the fuck is wrong with this one? You know, like she felt very much like the queen of this, which, you know, you got to hand it to her. From someone who could not be less queen, I admire how she really feels that way. Like, recently she was on 2Ts and she's having a conversation and she goes, Tamara was saying, I'm going to be on with Adriana. I really wish I would be on with you. She goes, yeah, but who would sit in the first chair? It's like, bitch, Tamara
Right. Yeah.
is the foundation of Real Housewives.
Don't
Get a
you
grip.
feel like I feel like Andy feels about the Miami women the same way he felt about the Dallas women?
Yes.
Like he doesn't really care for them that much.
No, he doesn't care for them. He doesn't care for them. And the funny thing is that more than anything in life, especially Alexia and Marisol, have said that their dream is to be really close to Andy. And I just don't see that happening because, he absolutely doesn't like Marisol. He liked Elsa. Marisol he doesn't like. And he thinks Alexia's an idiot. And so it's hard for him to like people that are idiots, you know?
Speaking of idiots, how did you feel when Larsa was like, I mean, how do you have room for that on your phone? I'll have beautiful pics of my feet and children and boyfriend. Like, feet was number one. She's like, my phone is used for my beautiful feet pictures.
Do you know how much money she makes?
No.
Oh, she makes like...
What do you think?
No, I think she said it once. It was like $20,000 a month.
Oh, I would think she'd make more.
Well, that was when she started. It's probably a
Okay.
lot more by now.
I
Probably.
would think she'd...
Who knows? She probably makes $1 million a year off her feet. But, do we really think it's just feet?
Why haven't we ever just subscribed just to see what it really is? You know? Is it just feet, or do we see like... I would love to see like a full frontal of her butthole just to see like what does this whole thing look like. And
Well,
I
I'm
would
sure-
also... I would pay to see her take a dump because I do always wonder when people have these big butts like this,
They
how do you
fall
poop?
off the side. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're sitting on the toilet,
Yeah.
it hangs off the side.
Yikes.
Toilets are kind of standard size, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it must be like, yeah.
I think the same thing when I watch 1,000-Pound Sisters with like Tammy. I'm like, how
Oh my
does her
God,
butt fit on the seat?
Did this fit? Or do they have
We've
to-
never seen it. We've never see it.
Oh, wow.
And how does that toilet manage to stay in place? Like porcelain is strong.
Yeah, porcelain is strong. Wow. But I think that I don't think she's showing butthole, but I do think she's probably showing her ass completely uncovered.
Right.
And I really do think it's lumpy and bumpy.
Lumpy and bumpy.
By the way, Lisa has an endorsement deal with some brand about skin, and she goes, and it keeps my skin so smooth, not lumpy and bumpy.
Oh,
And
I love
thought-
that.
I love that she did that. She totally leaned into that. Yeah.
Okay, I know that, I know you love Adriana. However, I do need to just say bringing the dog out as her emotional support animal was so stupid.
She loves her dog.
Okay, but like she thinks that she's funny and she's really not in moments like that.
I've already told her that. She doesn't listen, whatever. But for the most part, she's harmless. I think she's harmless.
I think she's harmless, but I'm just like, it's not funny.
No, it's
and
not
also
funny.
the
She
dog
doesn't
was
know
not
what
very
funny
glammed
is.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
She's had him before, like having pink hair and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you generally find it, like, except for the end, kind of a boring reunion?
No, because I'll tell you something. There's something about reunions for me. It doesn't matter. I've watched reunions for shows I've never watched before. Like seeing all of the same people in the same room, having to answer questions, getting like flashbacks. I love a reunion, and I don't feel like there's ever a bad reunion other than when they brought Nicki Minaj on Potomac's reunion. I thought that was terrible. I did not appreciate that.
What do you think about the way they handled the Geurdy apology, the Geurdy water toss? I need to know what you think about that.
Okay, I started off this season saying, I can't stand Geurdy. And I'm still going to stand by the fact that, like, she always has to say so. Like, even when Andy's talking, she's like, yep, exactly what I was thinking. Exactly. But
yeah.
I have really come to be on Geurdy's side with a lot of things, and I've come to appreciate Geurdy so much more. Because in this moment, Andy was like, Alexia's like, had I wish I had done something differently, blah, 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 blah. And then Andy's like, do you accept her apology? And Geurdy's like, that wasn't an apology. And he was like, she just apologized. And she's like, I just apologized. I just said, I wish I had done. No. You never said, I'm sorry. She never said, I'm sorry.
No.
And I guarantee you, Alexia is someone who never says, I'm sorry, unless it's, I'm sorry that you're so sensitive, Right. I was so irritated for Geurdy in that moment because I was like, she didn't apologize at all. So I don't know what she's supposed to be accepting. And then for Larsa to come pile on and be like, where were you when Adriana threw a glass directly at me? And I was like, we saw the clip. Adriana throws the glass to the side, nowhere near Larsa.
But here it is again, Ace. Why are these women so tone deaf? There was a lot of microaggressions going on there. Why don't they understand that throwing this at Geurdy is really different, and then pretending it's nothing is different from if they had thrown it at somebody else? I have a real problem with that because there is just this obliviousness to that. It's like we've all had stuff thrown at us. We've all had, it just bothers me because Geurdy, I could tell that that's what she wanted to say, but she didn't feel like she had to spell it out, know, like, and then after, if you'll see the scene that after that, they were basically berating her after she just had this water thrown at her at that same event.
Right.
And then Marisol goes, to me, this whole thing was an attempt to not come across as racist.
Okay.
Marisol and Alexia. And that's up for you to decide. I have my opinion about it, okay? But for her to say, I took Julia to the bathroom. I got her by the arm and I took her to the bathroom and I said, don't ever throw stuff at people.
I love that she was like, I was so angry. And then we hear the clip and she was like, we can't be doing that stuff on our show. We can't. We really can't be doing that.
Can you imagine the big moment where she's giving her advice is, you can't throw stuff at people.
It was so crazy to me because I don't know. Here's the thing, though. What makes a great housewife is their inability to self-reflect. That's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. Like, I do love that housewives are completely incapable of reflecting on what they've done wrong and all of the above. That being said, I do feel like the reunion is meant to be like resolution, conflict resolution. And then we we didn't get that for Geurdy because nobody felt the need to apologize. I don't
truly apologize.
Right. I'm like, I just couldn't understand where everyone was coming from, except for, and I would really, really love to know your perspective on this moment in regards to how Kiki handled things.
You think she handled it well?
I understood what she was saying. Here's the thing, okay? I think that what she was trying to do was protect Geurdy because Julia I don't think she was saying like, hey, get out of here. You're the angry black woman. I think she's saying like, listen, we are the minorities in this situation. Let's remove ourselves from it.
But why? Why are they less than? Why?
No. I don't think that they're less than, but I think that for them, they think like it's, is it a safe situation where we have all these white women now screaming at us? And
but do you understand? This is the whole problem. In today's world, 2025, on a stupid Real Housewives show, no one should feel that they're in any kind of danger or a bad situation or being perceived as anything. They're all women.
Nobody should feel that way, but I wish that we lived in a world where people didn't feel that way, but they do,
And you're right, but it was completely overlooked at this reunion. It was an opportunity to discuss it. It could have been a learning moment. I've had those learning moments from my kids. Yeah. Years ago, I dared to say that Ebony was so articulate. And the reason I said Ebony was articulate is because she explained some legal concept by using such few words, which is really a gift. And as a lawyer myself, I thought, man, she's good. Well, my daughters let me have it and told me it was a microaggression.
Right.
And it took me a long time to understand, but I have really, as somebody that's older, because it's harder for us, learn that. And there was no lesson here, no opportunity to. And the thing is that if you saw Adriana talking to Geurdy, like on the side going like, but say whatever, say what you want to say. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Adriana was doing that. Geurdy didn't want to have to say it. She wanted them to realize. She wanted at least Andy to realize. When he said, she's apologized to you 5 times. I'm sorry, that made me really angry.
I don't feel like anyone has apologized to anybody. Really quick, though, a fun side tangent about the Ebony situation is I will never forget when Heather, hey, mama, Thompson, what did she always say to people? Holla!
Holla, yeah.
Heather Holla Thompson was in that scene with Ebony, and she's saying, basically like, I am so good at understanding black people. And then she goes into Ebony's room and is like, girl, you are so well spoken. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, she's so stupid.
But that's basically what I said. That's basically what I said. And I am telling you, I recognize now it horrifies me that I said that. But it's taken me a long time to understand all that. But I've taken the time to learn it because, yes, my generation we didn't see things that way. And between my girls and Richie, my friend, who really has stopped me many times and said, no, you're wrong. That's not right. That's not the way. I would love to hear his perspective on this because I just felt that Geurdy wasn't seen in this episode of the reunion. And I'd love for our black listeners, we have, several black listeners that usually communicate with us on YouTube. I really want to know how you feel about this because I felt for her as if she didn't matter.
I think the hard thing is again, it's not a universal experience. And I think even though if you are black, you're not going to fully, you might resonate with that or you might not. And it's not to say one way is right or the other, but I do feel like they completely shut her down. Nobody was willing to hear her. I felt like the person who was really pissing me off the most, though, was Larsa. Larsa was the one who I was like, why? Like, where are you coming from in all of this? Because I just felt like she was being so shitty to Geurdy and trying to act as though like I've been through it and I've walked this in your shoes, you know, but that is not the truth.
You can't have walked in her shoes.
And let's not forget, they show the clip of Julia and Marisol, which we had never seen before, fighting over an ice bucket or whatever. And she was like, Geurdy, you were, you know, like, she was sitting there. She had nothing to do with it. So why are we bringing her into that?
Right,
you know?
Right. Well, because they're trying to say, you're overreacting. This has happened to all of us. That was the point. That was the point. You know, whatever. That to me was the biggest disappointment of this reunion. You know, the rest was kind of comical. Why is it that Larsa has to bring every boyfriend to the reunion to sit there?
And why is every boyfriend 20 years younger than her?
Yeah.
He's 31.
Like, yeah.
I had to look it up. And I'm like, and they're talking about possibly having a baby. I'm like,
she's going to freeze more eggs.
Give me a fucking break. Can you imagine being one of her kids and she's like, hey, I'm pregnant with another baby. It's like, fuck off. I don't care for you to have. Imagine calling your daughters right now and being like, hey, girls, I'm pregnant.
They would freak the fuck out. But here's the thing. I am aware that age is chronological and it doesn't stop no matter how many times you inject your meat face. No matter how many times. She will very soon look like his mother. You know? Yeah. And then, like the grandmother taking care of the baby. If you think that modern science could change that for you, you're crazy. And I just think it's a recipe for disappointment, disaster. It's bad for everybody. But, you know, whatever, I just feel that her motivation has everything to do with being like, I'm young, therefore I'm with young men and a basketball player and... You know, she's like the queen of basketball players. Yeah,
she's... Larsa is, I truly feel, somebody who is just so incredibly in love with herself. She really does think, like, God, I'm so great. Yes.
She really is.
She has a very high view of herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, I mean, more power to you. I don't know what that's like.
More power to her. Listen, I wish I had that level of confidence, but I also am not, you know, deluding myself. I know what's real and what isn't. Like, but that's the same way with Alexia. That is the same way, you know, there's people on that show, and maybe that is what it takes. Maybe that's what it takes. I don't know. I can't imagine Marisol showing up at BravoCon and not being booed at this point.
Oh, I hope she does.
She's been booed before. Mm-hmm. But I feel that she, more than anybody, has done some, you know, heinous things. I think the general consensus on social media, in the comments, has been she's a manipulator. And I know what she's going to try to do now. She'll post pictures and, you know, I don't know, rescuing dogs in Ethiopia, feeding, you know, children with big bellies surrounded by flies. I mean, that's who she is. She is PR. That is what she does. But none of it will be real. None of it will be authentic. No, none of it will be from her heart because she has a black heart, like I said. But
I also am so bothered at this reunion with there's nothing that pisses me off more when someone is doing everything in their power to not be themselves so that they can try and look like they're winning. Because Julia sitting there just being like, I would like to apologize to you. Because I'm like, where was your apology the whole fucking season?
Right. Right.
You
right.
never once apologized the entire season, and yet here you are at the reunion after you see that social media didn't like your take on all of this, and now you're sorry. Now
And
the
social
apology
media-
comes.
Social media, you know, we'll see now, you know, right after the reunion, but social media, when they've shown the little clip of her crying before the reunion started, we're like, oh, please. Like, nobody's believing it. I don't think she's going to come back from that. I don't
Here's the
think she's going
thing.
to come back from that. But also,
I never thought
Andy-
I'd want Julia back, but now I kind of do.
Well, listen, Marisol and Alexia are making sure whoever thinks that production has any control of this show is fooling themselves. That show is in the hands of Marisol and kind of by proxy Alexia. They're deciding to embrace this woman, to ice out other people, to ice out Adriana and Geurdy. And that's why they're calling her the Lisa Rinna of Miami. Because, and we know what happened to Lisa Rinna. So I think she is pushing it too much. But it'll be really interesting to see. I really do think we're going to see cast changes, and I think that they wait to see the audience's reaction to the reunion. That's why when they say, oh, contracts have gone out, you know, we said that, and I repeated that because I saw it, but I've discovered since that there is no contracts that have gone out.
Oh, okay.
I've also discovered that none of these women get screeners. I've never heard of such a thing.
I think they don't because I do
they
feel
start
like
calling and freaking out and
yes, I feel like they're like it's not worth it. I do feel like Miami, especially this season, Miami felt like it was on an island by itself. You know what I mean? Like it just felt like there were things that were completely different about Miami in comparison to the other franchises, and I don't know exactly what it was, but something was off. And I feel like it was like, okay, we finally got what feels like real money on the show, but it was also so ostentatious. It was so gross. Like, it was just like, I don't want this kind of money on my show.
Right.
I don't care for Stephanie's entire package during the reunion was just like, hey, I have a plane, I have money, and I'm so great.
Right.
I
And
have a
you know
question
what?
for you.
Just like I told you. Guess where she took off to yesterday? Paris Fashion Week. I told you she was going to. She hopped on her plane and went to Paris Fashion Week yesterday. I did find out, I had a lawyer friend send me how much they settled for all those tips that were stolen.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't know.
Allegedly.
Settled. Okay, so it is settled. That part, remember, the retaliation isn't settled. Settled, and judge just gave preliminary approval of class action settlement. Shoma to pay a max of $344,382.78 under the settlement.
And how much does it cost her to fly to Paris Fashion Week?
Oh, she's going to spend, you know, I can't imagine them spending less than $250,000.
Right. So, okay. That's not really.
No.
Whatever.
That's nothing. That's chump change to them. But,
Yeah.
like, the fact that they settled means it doesn't automatically mean, but it makes it, it's very good evidence that they did it.
I need to hear what the people are saying on the streets in Miami about Stephanie claiming she never met Masoud's wife.
Well, I got some information.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm asking.
I did. No, well, she's never. Okay. So, let me see. Because they sent it to me in some kind of.
Oh, you got like an encrypted email?
No, but I got a Dropbox, and then I don't have enough room.
Okay.
Okay. Joint folder. Okay. So, keep talking while I find this.
Well, I'm hoping what you're going to find is the fact that there's a picture of Stephanie and Masoud's wife standing next to each other. She's like, there's no pictures, there's no text, there's no emails, there's nothing because we've never met each other. And then Adriana's like, yeah, we were at lunch the other day and we saw her and you're like, oh my God, there she is. And I just have such a hard time believing this narrative. Because everyone was saying she was hired by Masoud's wife. She worked for Masoud's wife. Like, I don't feel like we can fully make up a rumor like this. There has to be some truth to it.
Right. Okay. So what they sent me was some corporation docs saying that Shoma Alliance is the entity which does all Shoma payroll, and Maria, the wife, was part of that entity. That Stephanie may try to say that she didn't work for Shoma, that she worked for Pars Realty, the real estate company, but Maria owned 50% of that too. Even though she wasn't at the office, she owned 50%. So, like, Maria has owned at least half of everything of Shoma. So she may not have met her, but she's putting money in her pocket, you know? Clearly, we've talked about before that when Masoud bought her Range Rover, she decided to park it next to Maria and the daughters, and it was all a row of, like, 5 Range Rovers at the Shoma parking lot. At some point, she must have run into her. I think she is using meeting like very technically, like, hi, how are you? I'm Maria. Oh, hi, I'm Stephanie. But that they've crossed paths and they've seen each other and sneered at each other or something like that, for sure.
Do you know what is the relationship timeline between when Masoud leaves his ex and when he gets with Stephanie?
Well, she's saying that he had been separated for 8 years. Separated in his head. You know what I mean? Men love to say that. Oh, we're not in a good place. I mean, we're in the same house, but we don't sleep together, but whatever. But
well, it's like when a man is like, oh, we have an open relationship. My wife just doesn't know about it.
No, exactly. I think that they were living in the same house, and in his mind, he was separated. But I don't think they were separated. Again, my opinion, I do believe there was an overlap. Okay? I do believe there was an overlap, and I do think that he hired her for her marketing skills, and he fell in love with her for whatever reason.
Marketing skills, blowjob skills, they're all the same.
Whatever it may be. You know, I've heard that him and the wife had like a contentious relationship, that it was never... You know, at some point, I'm sure it was great, but that for a long time it wasn't, and shit happens.
Doesn't Masoud's, like, the start of his money, didn't that come from his ex-wife's family?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
So.
She's the one whose family had the money. And, you know, I've even heard a story that, by the way, Masoud allegedly has cheated before. Okay.
Obviously.
So he had a woman for many, many years, more age appropriate. I believe it was a decade-long relationship. And this man, according to the story, would use Maria's parents' home in Fisher Island, because they had a lot of money, so they had another home in Fisher Island, with a mistress, and would drink their most, expensive vintage bottles of wine while he was having a little afternoon delight action.
Oh, I love
this
that.
Is what I was told. It's so,
allegedly.
Allegedly. So this whole story of like, I didn't, I was separated for 8 years and he didn't do anything. Okay, maybe not with Stephanie, but my understanding is that he did have an ongoing long-term affair for close to between 10 and 12 years.
Oh, wow.
And that the wife caught him.
Wow.
So
I like it.
Yeah.
Moving on. I want justice for all of us, because we talked about Martina's surrogacy comments for half a fucking second. And Andy, I feel like because of his position in this, had to be like, Lisa, how did you feel about that? Because both of your kids were born via surrogate. But I also want to be like, Andy, how did you feel about it?
Right.
Because your kids are born via surrogate.
Right.
Like, And then she's like, she
I thought
deleted
he was
the
very Switzerland on this reunion.
and it pissed me off. I didn't want him to be Switzerland. I want you to get in there. I want you to be messy. I hate when people are like, Andy needs to not choose. I like when Andy chooses sides about stuff like this.
I do think he chose sides, but it was very subtle. But I do think he picked the side that was not Geurdy's.
Oh, in that situation, yes. No, I agree with that. I just feel like in this situation, I want you to get in there. I want you to say something. I want you to have an opinion. Right.
He has before. And I would think that this is something that would be very meaningful to him. So I got to ask you something. As somebody that has both, had foster children and adopted, when Julia, had that event at the Opera House where she sang, where it sounded like she was skinning a cat alive.
Yes.
She mentioned something about adoption and fostering.
Yeah.
So are those kids officially adopted or are they foster kids? Because some people that have written to me believe that she mentioned that as an excuse when she later gets rid of the kids.
Oh, God.
I know.
That's really sad. I have no idea. So I do know, though, that like if they were actively in foster care, there's no way that they would be able to be on television in this capacity. So I do feel like they are probably at this point adopted. Foster care, there's so many different situations. Sometimes they're like, hey, this kid has been back and forth in the system and they're already ready to be adopted. This kid, we don't know the situation. And the point of foster care is to foster children while their parents get their shit together and then they reunite the family. That is the point of foster care. The problem is just that like a lot of times that's just not the best situation for the kid because their parents aren't getting better. So I can't imagine that they came from foster care because that process is a long process. And they wouldn't be able to be on the show like they have been while they're not officially adopted. Yeah.
So I don't know why she mentioned foster care because the agency that she used was an adoption agency. They didn't do anything regarding foster care. I don't know.
So maybe she's just trying to look good. Maybe she's just trying to be like, oh, it's the I don't know. I just feel like Julia is position. I don't want to say she's using these kids at all. And I actually don't feel like Martina is doing this at all. I feel like Martina, as much as I don't care for Martina, I do feel like Martina is genuinely, I mean, is she trying to make her own Venus and Serena? Probably. Those kids are not going to be able to play any other sport but tennis.
Okay, but what a great opportunity for those kids. What a great opportunity for those kids that your mother is a superstar tennis player and from a very young age you're holding a racket. I know it's a lot of pressure, but it's also gives you a sense of purpose and whatever. Look, they're not her natural children, so they probably didn't inherit, there's a part of that skill set that I'm sure it's inherited. I don't know if that's the way it works, but yeah, she's definitely going to put them to do that. And I think that's good. Kids like discipline and stuff like that.
But I think that there has to be a point in time in which it's like, do you actually like this? And I don't know if they're going to have the same opportunity as other kids to say they don't like it because of the fact that right. Martina's like, well, this is where it's at. We have to love tennis. I mean,
consider Martina's age, and this is not age shaming. By the time the kids are at an age where they could say, I don't like this, not when they're 3 years old and they go, I don't want to go to tennis practice.
Right. No, she'll be 102.
Yeah. It's like, she's not going to fight that battle. I don't think so. I don't think she's going to fight that battle.
There's somebody who gets so mad at me about my ageist comments. And what I wish that people could understand is when I say I don't like old people, I don't like crotchety old people who feel entitled to respect just because they're old. And then I'm like, well, you're proving to me Like, because they're like, how dare you say this about people like me? I'm like, so you are one of those people that I'm saying it about. But I don't hate all old people.
Right. There's plenty of ornery, obnoxious people that are not old, is the
point,
too.
I've never subscribed to and I think it's because my grandpa was a fucking dick to me for no reason.
Oh, my grandmother was such a bitch. I hated that woman.
Yeah, I'm just
her.
Like,
you know
my
that
grandpa
thing
was
when people
awful.
go, I love my grandparents. Oh my God, my grandmother.
Oh,
like that's
I
how
wish.
my kids feel about my mom, because my mom was such an amazing grandmother. But her mother, what
awful.
a fucking bitch. She hated me. She hated me.
So I've never subscribed to the idea that you have to give respect to somebody just because they're old. I don't care. Like, you get respect because you treat people well and you show them respect and they get respect. I'm not going to respect you just because your expiration date's coming closer, you know? Sorry, I'm not going to.
So let's talk a little bit about, they each get a package, right? Like during this thing where they show their life. When it came to Alexia, he asked about Todd. And so here's the thing that we have to create some kind of timeline with Alexia and Todd, because there was a time where she hated him. The house is fake. The car is fake. This is fake. And then she took that back. And then she went on some show and said that he gave her the ick and that he was the devil and that now she hated him. Then most recently, I guess after the reunion, it seems like they're back together. But at the time this reunion was done, they're not together. She's ready to start dating. What the fuck is going on?
Here's the problem with Alexia, and I say this to people all the time, is like, unless you are 100% ready to be done with somebody, be careful who you talk shit about your spouse with, because I just feel like she said so much shit about Todd, and then all of a sudden she's right back to him, and then she's like, don't you say anything about Todd. That's my husband. It's like, well, hold on a second. Whiplash. Like, you're giving me whiplash, Cody. Like, I'm just, give us I can't keep up. I thought we were talking shit about him. And then it's like, nope, now we're not talking shit about him.
What is your Todd prediction, if you have one?
I think Todd is not done yet.
Okay, I think Todd is not done yet, but I think that Alexia would never leave the show. And I don't see a world where Todd would be with her if she was on the show.
No, but I still think that she's going over there. She's still, like, in love. She's still hooking up, whatever. I don't see him ever doing the show or anything like that.
Right.
I just feel like
he would demand that she leave the show, and she has said publicly that she would leave the show for her marriage. But we know that's not true.
No, absolutely not.
Literally, she would rather sever a limb. Okay, then
can I tell you one of my favorite moments of this entire reunion?
What?
It's when we're talking about Yulia's kids, and we're talking. I mean, those fucking creepy ass men from
oh my
the White Lotus, and having them be the godfathers or whatever, and then they're like, do they have a grandmother? And she's like, no, not yet. And then Andy's like, was Adriana ever, considered in the running for godmother? And she's like, no. And Adriana's so upset. Adriana's so pissed. And then she comes out and is like, I asked you to be Basquiat's godmother. As if it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not. Also, let's not forget, Adriana does have a child.
But he's in college, and she didn't know Julia back then. They weren't hooking up back then. Look at your hair. Your hair is... That shit's really working on you.
I know, but it's looking like a mess right now. I'm irritated.
I like it.
I got to get it cut. But I feel like... that was a moment in which Adriana wasn't trying to be funny, but it was so fucking funny.
She was hurt.
She killed me with that moment. I thought that was so funny.
Half the shit Adriana says that's supposed to be funny isn't fun. It's funny, but not in the... It's funny strange, not funny.
But when she tries to be funny, it's not funny.
Then it's never funny. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Now... when we end this reunion, Adriana's like, or Yulia is like, I want to shed some light on something that will make this make a little bit more sense to everybody. And I was like, oh, great. Here comes our to be continued.
Yeah.
But we did not get to be continued. She says, Adriana and I slept together in the Hamptons.
Do you remember? I went back to that. In the Hamptons, Adriana was in a bathtub with her tits out. Remember?
Okay.
When everybody got there.
Yes.
And then there was some discussion as to who this girl would sleep with. And, you know, she denied doing it. And as I told you, she told me that she didn't like the V. And she also told me that she would never even consider sleeping with Julia because she's dirty.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that means that she's got a smelly vajayjay.
Here's the thing, and I'm now looking back at that scene. So that's the Hamptons. Like, we're talking about that trip, right? They didn't go on another trip to the Hamptons.
No.
So doesn't it make sense now that Yulia had this huge hangover, had to have the ambulance come, because was Yulia already trying to do damage control? And if ever this came out, she could be like, I was so drunk off my ass, Martina.
I don't
like,
remember. Right.
Oh, yeah. I feel like she'd just be like, oh, I didn't even know that happened, you know, and I made a bad decision. Yeah, Julia's the one who got so sick she had to go.
It was Marisol.
No, it was Julia. And because she was doing like olive oil with her shots, and she's like, this will be totally fine. And then the next day she's, you know, throwing up all over the place. She goes in the ambulance. I'm like, what a perfect, you know, way to get out of that is being like, oh my God, I was so sick. I was so drunk. I don't even remember doing it.
But I want to go back and watch that entire episode with this knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Because we're going to pick up on so many things. So
yeah.
we need to do that.
If we see Adriana continually, you know, kind of like going like this, she's like, that means she still smells pussy on her upper lip.
I honestly, by the way, as you can see, she's denying it, because after the reunion, they all went to their little dressing rooms, and Lisa's asking her, did it happen? And then she went like this. Like, did this happen? Did you see Lisa doing that?
Yeah, Lisa's like, did you guys, you know, scissor? And then Julia is like telling Andy. So next on part 2, we're gonna see Julia talking to Andy, and she's like, you know, we slept together in the Hamptons, and then we've messed around other times since then. And I was just like,
she said that?
Oh. Yes.
Oh my God, I missed it.
Yes, it's not just the Hamptons. She says it. No, she says it on the preview for next week. Yes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Well, look, we were right that's what it was.
You were right.
Yeah.
Because when I said it, I didn't remember that you had told me that. So I wanted to take credit for it. But I guess you had already said it to me.
I just saw a thing. And remember when she, what was it? She proposed to her to be my best friend forever. And when you see it, the way that her eyes were sparkling, it was like a real proposal. And they were both.
Here's what I need to know.
There's a flirtiness with them.
I need to know where Martina's head is at in all of this. Because I know I said I never need to hear from Martina again after her surrogacy comments. She said that
Martina and her were not in a good place at the time.
But does Martina, like at this point when she's telling...
Martina knows.
Okay, so you think Martina knows that already?
Yeah, if she saw the reunion, and I'm
No, but I'm saying like when she's at the reunion, let's say like Julia went to go film, then does she have to go home and tell Martina like, hey, this came up during the reunion, or did she tell her before that?
I think she told her before. I think she said... this happened and I might have to use it because I feel that I'm going to be attacked at the reunion. She wasn't attacked as much as I would have expected, and Geurdy was not supported like I would have expected. So I'm really hoping to see some of that shift in the next 2 episodes.
It's not going to shift.
No.
It's not going to
And
shift.
I also
but
don't think we're going to see, the kind of Stephanie that we wanted to see. The kind of Stephanie that, holds Alexia accountable and that kind of stuff. Because
I feel like Stephanie was just a flop.
Yeah.
I
She's
do.
still deciding whether she's coming back or not. She's on the fence.
I feel like she was a flop. I feel like she had so much more potential and it didn't happen. I felt like they revved her up because they kept being like, oh, she's a force to be reckoned with. She's standing her own and stuff. And I was like, she kind of did. But the second, I felt like there was an opportunity to try and be close to Alexia and Marisol, she jumped at it. That's not, I don't know. I want someone who's going to, here's what I want. I will say, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Bronwyn is what I want on every franchise.
Yes.
Somebody who's I don't give a fuck that Lisa's the fan favorite. I don't give a fuck that Lisa's queen bee around here. If I don't like her, and I think she's a bitch, I'm gonna call her out for it. Yep. That's what I wanted from Stephanie, and I don't feel like we really got that.
Yep, I agree. Look, I think that to be fair to Stephanie, because and I know you guys might think I'm making this up, but you see it with the the influence that Marisol has over production. She wanted Stephanie, then Stephanie became, then Stephanie met with, about this, right? She met with Marisol before the season started. She said, can you give me some advice? Who should I be careful with? And she told her, be careful with Adriana. And then Stephanie basically backstabbed Marisol, went to Adriana, told her, and became friends with Adriana. So this is even before it filmed at first. So because that happened, I believe Marisol was in the ear of production and was like, let's make her look bad, let's make her look bad, let's make her look bad.
I wish Miami could get new production.
That's
because
if they gave a different production company to Miami would kill it. Because I don't know if you have felt, I felt like this about Miami, right? I was like, whatever. And it's like, oh my God, it's so great. It's the greatest thing. And now I'm kind of here. And I feel a lot of people are here and not thinking oh, I can't wait till next season. I don't know. Even with the big bombshell that happened, that's it. That was the bombshell.
No,
Okay.
I'm still here for the bombshell. And that's why I want Yulia to come back next season, just because I want to see her fall out with Martina.
Well, we're still waiting for Adriana, what Adriana says to her, hands her the box with some kind of broken heart or some kind of memento, and accuses her of having a long-term affair with a man that I believe may have worked at a funeral parlor.
There's certain things
I saw that on Reddit, but I think it might be true because it's too specific.
If you found out that Ken was cheating on you, would you want the person to be way hotter than you or way uglier and super successful, hot, or would you rather them be ugly and work at a funeral parlor?
No, I want him to be super successful and hot.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Don't,
because it's just
it's got to be no. If you don't want to be with me because you want to be with Karen from the accounting department, who makes meatloaf on Tuesdays, it's fuck you, man. You never deserved me. But if you're trying to be better, it's whatever. You find better, I'll go find better.
See, if my wife is going to cheat on me and she finds some super hot guy, he's got abs and chesticles and all this stuff, I'm happy for her because I'm you deserve that in life. You know, you deserve to have someone with a good body. But if I found out that he was funny,
oh, that's right, funny.
I will be heartbroken for the rest of if I found out she was telling him you're the funniest person I've ever met.
Right.
I'm done.
I think
6 feet from the edge.
If somebody cooked better than me, I wouldn't love that.
That would be hard.
I wouldn't love that.
Yeah,
but
see, we all
I'm
have
gonna
our
tell you
thing.
Something that I've never said about any man ever.
Yeah.
Ken would never cheat on me.
Well, that's good. I love that.
By the way,
I'm
I've never
happy.
been cheated on in my whole life.
But you have cheated?
Does
dicey.
Yeah. I have. In a situation that was, untenable, and I just needed to, whatever, it was a mistake. That's never right, but I have.
Okay, wow. Look at you coming clean.
Yeah.
Speaking of come clean.
But it's never happened to me, and I hope it doesn't, because it's a horrible thing, but it's kind of hypocritical. But no, Ken is a solid human.
No, if my wife cheated on me, I wouldn't blame her. I'd be like, girl, you deserve that.
Well, this is why I know
you've had
Ken
to put up
wouldn't
with me
cheat on
this whole time.
He's had to put up with all my craziness, and I am fucking crazy. Like,
right.
Literally.
Oh, for sure.
My moods, my whatever.
Absolutely.
I'll just burst into tears for no apparent reason. And he doesn't
sitting
look
in your
at me.
creepy ass lazy boy chair.
Right, exactly. And he doesn't even say like, "What's wrong?" or whatever. He's just like, "Do you want to talk about it? You want to like whatever? Or should I just leave you alone? Let me go for a little while. I'm going to go on a bike ride and give you your time." It's like, I feel that he must feel he's living with a patient. And yet
oh,
he
for
doesn't
sure.
leave.
Yeah, you are
right.
definitely a patient.
So
right.
I appreciate him for that.
I appreciate that he's basically working at the insane asylum, and you think that in your head you guys are in a relationship, and in his head he's like, you need to take your meds now, sweetie.
Right. Exactly.
And then when you guys go out for your brunch and stuff, he's like, well, nobody else comes to visit her, so I want to make sure she gets out and about a little bit.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
All right,
Listen, that I feel like part one could have been better, especially because I felt like we spent so much time trying to call Geurdy out where it didn't feel like we really needed to, and so little time on calling Martina out, which I wanted more of. And then, but by the end, I was so fulfilled. My mouth, when they showed Julia saying that, I was like, I'm like, even though you told me that, even though you said, I was like, no, they're not going to come clean with that.
I didn't know where it was. There's something about it being on a cast trip that made it really, you know what I mean? Because that part I didn't know.
I love that.
Even shocked me.
Yeah.
That even shocked me. So, but I'm going to go back and watch that, because we're going to get some little, I don't know.
If ever we do a Patreon, we should recap your season of Miami.
Okay, let's do it. We are.
And
I
will talk shit about you.
Okay, you should do that. We should totally do that. I think now that our listeners kind of really know us and get us, I think that would be great. By the way,
I think it'd be so fun.
I haven't looked at YouTube lately.
Yeah.
Like in a while, because I've just been with the whole house thing and everything else, and then I go there and I want to read everything and I want to respond. What has did anybody say anything about my opera singing?
No. Everyone's been super nice on YouTube. Everyone's been super great on YouTube. Yeah. There's like, there's a troll here and there and stuff, but overall I feel like people have been so great. I love them, and I appreciate them coming on and saying nice things. Even if they're lying to us, that's okay. I don't care.
Think they are. I think we have the best listeners, because I think that, like, even your people, and I said this the other day, they don't, even if they have something, like, I'm sure they see it as constructive criticism and they are going to leave a review, they always leave 5 stars anyway. And that's how I know they're trash bags. I
appreciate them.
Yeah, I do.
I appreciate those trash bags a ton.
They're really good.
I was going to say something about everything we were just talking about, but now I've already forgotten what it was.
We're going to do it. Let's plan to recap that season. I think that'll be really fun.
Okay. And then you can give us like behind the scenes of things that happened or things that didn't make the final cut. And we can also, I think people sometimes think I'm blowing smoke up your ass, but I am telling you guys, like, go back and watch it. You look 15 to 20 years younger now.
Really?
Yes, 100%.
That's
Like,
so
as
weird.
as someone who is like, I don't know, I've seen you in person, I've seen you on here, like I've seen you on there. You look so much younger now.
Okay, well, I'll take that. I will take it.
Did you want to give me a compliment? Oh, guys, thank you so much for joining us at Reality Court. We appreciate all you guys have to say as long as it's positive. So 5-star reviews only say nice things about us. And our apologies if you've been offended by something we've said. We probably didn't really mean it. Calm down.
Especially
it
you.
is. Especially me. Yeah. I didn't mean any of that. Go leave us a 5-star review, and then we'll be back next week. We have 2 more parts of Miami, but just know on our other days, we recap, like, not as intense as Miami, but we recap Salt Lake, OC, and a little bit of Special Forces.
We're
now.
We're going to do Special Forces. We could do a little bit of Dancing with the
Sister
Stars.
Wives, Dancing with the Stars.
Oh my God, Sister Wives for sure. And then we are going to do Dancing with the Stars. And because you hate it, I think I'm going to separately do a little bit of Golden Bachelor because it is officially the cringiest show I have ever seen.
But I will absolutely, I have not watched Bachelor, Bachelorette in so long. Like, I feel like the last time I watched was Jeff with 1F, Emily Maynard, and Ricketic. She had Ricketic, her daughter Ricketic. I feel like that was one of the last seasons I watched. Like
So you would watch regular Bachelor?
No, I'm going to watch the new Bachelorette with Taylor Frankie Paul.
Oh, okay, cool. You know
I'm
what?
absolutely
and I have one
here
of the
for that.
producers that's a really good, basically John Liam's first cousin, so we can have her on so she can give us a little intel.
And she's going to do Bachelorette?
She does all she's a producer on all Bachelor shows.
Okay, because I don't want to even spend 1 second talking about the old saggy balls of Golden Bachelor.
She doesn't do Golden Bachelor. She doesn't do it at all. She doesn't like that show. And if we wanted to go to the premiere, like of the whatever, she always invites me.
I want to go.
So if you want to go,
I want to go to a premiere. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll tell her already.
I need to start losing weight.
She'll invite us for sure. So
I want to be when they do that after the final rose.
People are.
I want to see them dancing, walking around my nose.
What do you call?
What are they called again? Feet. I want to go to after the rose or whatever, where they get the audience reactions that are like, oh.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to call Katie and tell her. When does it start?
I don't think they've even started filming yet.
Okay, I'm gonna get all the intel on that because she will totally. She's invited me before. I just have never gone.
Fuck yes, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. That'll be fun.
I can't wait.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, anyways, have a beautiful weekend. We'll be back next week with more bullshit that nobody cares, about, and with zero facts ever. Just a lot of speculation.
We have facts.
And a lot of allegedlys.
Everything's alleged, guys. Everything is alleged.
Yes.
Thank you, Beyonce, so much.
Yes. Thank you, Herdat. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Anna. Thank you to my wife for not cheating on me. But if you did, I wouldn't blame you. I would cheat on me too.
Him funnier. Just not.
No, just don't let him be funnier. I don't care if he's got a huge dick, great body.
Better hair.
Amazing hair. The hair would be a tough one, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the hair would be tough for you.
I mean, I've been working so hard to get my hair back, but I understand. Just don't let him be funny. Let him have like a boring personality.
Yeah, I agree.
And let him be mentally stable. If I found out my wife was going and having to take on another patient besides me, I'd be pissed. I'm like, I thought it was because I was mentally unstable that you were like seeking somebody else out.
But imagine how boring her life would be.
I know. That's what I would hope so.
There's a little bit of like, there's a part of it where they're gluttons for punishment. Right. I think Ken would be bored if I wasn't a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right. Like imagine Ken goes and he gets himself another, straitjacket woman. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
That'd be hard.
That'd be hard. Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you all. Goodbye.
Goodbye.